We have some breaking news. The price of natural gas plummeting right now, down after the Energy Information Administration reported a 2 billion cubic feet nat gas withdrawal from storage in the week ending November 22nd. Nat gas and energy independence has been one of the main points that President-elect Trump has spoken about during his entire campaign. Now, last week, he took the first steps towards his energy goals by tapping Liberty Energy CEO Chris Wright to be the next energy secretary. Trump's energy to-do list, though, pretty long. It includes rolling back tax credits for EVs, new clean power plant standards, lifting Biden's pause on new LNG export permits, accelerate drilling permits specifically on federal land, and approve the Keystone Pipeline. All of this will kick off with Trump declaring an energy emergency on his first day in office in an effort to expedite these plans. But how realistic are these goals, and how many of them can Trump accomplish in the next 4 years? Why don't we ask, in a Fox Business exclusive, the former U.S. Energy Secretary, Rick Perry. Governor, it's also so great to have you on the program. How realistic are those goals, especially on day one?
Well, Taylor, it's a great pleasure to be with you. And Donald Trump will go forward with a very extraordinary energy plan with great, not only expectations, but I think great speed. So we can expect a lot of the things that he talked about people are already planning on it. So let's talk about LNG export permits, for instance. Those companies that have been waiting, the people who have bankrolled these projects, now they know they're going to go forward. So for the next 60 days, they're going to be in preparation for that. So I expect on day one, these permits to start rolling, and absolutely the president's vision for what he wants to do. He understands that America's economy goes back to the energy industry and a strong oil and gas industry, a strong small modular reactor push to get that base load energy out there, that all of that together sends the message to the world, not just to America, but to the world, that we're back ready to do business, and that American enterprise, American manufacturing, the AI industry with the data centers, all of that is going to just take off with extraordinary power. And this president understands that. So does Chris Wright, his new nominee to be the Secretary of Energy, Governor Burgum, who's the energy czar over at the, as well as the Secretary of Interior. All of those individuals are highly knowledgeable about the energy sector. So full well, it's going to be pedal to the metal, and the American energy industry will grow even greater than it did in the last 4 years that President Trump was in place. And it's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, you know, Governor, you mentioned AI, right? And this is a business show, and it honestly is all we talk about. And to power AI, we need energy. A part of that is coming from nuclear. Has the nuclear industry done enough to sort of remind people how safe it is, sort of how much we've come technologically, that nuclear is a real, reliable, safe solution?
Well, I don't think we have. And it's one of the things that I talk about on a regular basis. I was just at a nuclear conference in Texas this last week, had a huge turnout there. There's a nuclear caucus in the Texas legislature. I think you will see the Texas legislature giving incentives to build out these small modular reactors this session of the legislature, just like they did 2 years ago, where they gave incentives for peaker plants, which are driven by our natural gas, which we have abundant supply of here in the state of Texas. The message is clear in Texas. If you want to build data centers, if you want to be big in the AI business, come to Texas, because we have an energy supply into the future that's going to be able to take care of your needs.
I also want to talk about traditional oil. The Biden administration has been criticized for depleting the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, the SPR, and a lot of people say we need that, right, in case of an emergency. How quickly do you think Trump can refill the SPR?
Well, what he will do is he will send clearly from the standpoint of having the type of permitting process, number one, that you can go onto federal lands. You're going to have long-term commitment in the Gulf of Mexico to deliver those oil and gas reserves that are out there. So opening up the spigot is the biggest thing that the president's going to do. And he's going to send the message that we're not going to get in your way. We're going to make sure it's done safe, secure, and that the permitting process is quick. Then these energy experts out there, these wildcatters, these big oil and gas companies, they will go deliver. I think you'll see oil and gas prices going down because of the supply that comes in. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, the American people will be substantially well served. And you'll see also continued people putting money into these oil and gas projects because they know long-term this is a good investment. So I'm excited about what the president's going to be doing, what his administration is going to focus on. And frankly, America as a strong energy producer sends messages across the world that you can count on the United States. Okay. Our friends in Europe can get those LNG shipments placed in there. And so that's good news for all.
You know, we also have cleaner oil, you know, and when we stop drilling, we're looking at Russia, Saudi Arabia, Venezuela oil that's actually a lot dirtier than ours. Again, sort of a messaging question. Can the oil industry tell people our oil is cleaner and it burns cleaner and it is cleaner for some of the environmentalists out there who get nervous when we say drill, baby, drill?
Yeah, I think we do a pretty good job of that at this particular point in time. People know that U.S. oil is better than Russian oil from the standpoint of either national security or our environment. And it also, you know, this president will put sanctions on the Russians, on the Iranians. He will get them back in their boxes again, which is where they need to be until they understand, you know, you got to be a good neighbor in the world. If you're not, you're going to pay a price for it. So the president's sending the right messages about to those that don't want to be good neighbors in their parts of the world. So I'm excited again about what this president's going to do for the energy industry, but in turn for national security and for, you know, frankly, the environment of this world we live in.
You know, we only have a 30 seconds left or so. Are we restarting the Keystone Pipeline?
I think the president will reach out. That'll be a private sector decision that's made. If they feel comfortable that the resources are there, I think they'll open it back up. If they don't, they won't. But the point is, American energy industry, and particularly those that are pipelining, they'll fill that void, and we'll be able to move this product around in the country. But the president, I think, is right to go sit down with those folks and say, hey, you want to get it back? Let's go.
Governor Rick Perry, we so appreciate your time. Thank you.